have not looked at the cell cycle, the process of mitosis and the process of meiosis, head on to my YouTube channel, the Brain Shakers Academy, and you will find those videos there. Don't forget to give them a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment there, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, let's get right into the process of gametogenesis right before we get into the main topic for today, which is the formation of the spermatozoa. So we have an understanding of what gametogenesis is all about. Metagenesis is an intricate process that results in the formation of the gametes themselves, be it the male or the female gametes. Now, in the formation of the male gametes, the process is called as spermatogenesis. And the formation of female gametes is known as oogenesis. Now, this process of gamete formation involves numerous biochemical pathways and post-meiotic morphological changes to produce these cells. So it means that the cells have to undergo a cell division process known as meiosis in order for the cells to be produced. And you notice also that the product or the cells that are going to be produced are the cells that are going to be referred to as containing the haploid number of chromosomes in them. Now we have a dedicated video where I have looked at the entire process of meiosis, be it meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And please do head on to my YouTube channel, which is the Brain Shakers Academy, and look at that particular video as well. Now, if you look at the particular diagram that we have here, the cells will first have to undergo the first meiotic division to give us the two daughter cells, and then from the two daughter cells here, they to undergo another meiotic division, which is the second meiotic division, to give you the four daughter cells. And it is these four daughter cells that are then produced that will have to undergo the post-meiotic morphological changes in order for them to be matured. So once they have been produced, they are immature, then they have to now undergo the morphological changes for them to be mature cells. Now let's look at the process of spermatozoa formation, or how the sperms themselves are actually formed. The sperms are formed through a process known as spermatogenesis, like we have already made mention. Now, the process of gametogenesis, or the formation of gametes in males, only starts at puberty, and this is also under the influence of the endocrine system, where we have the HPG axis, which is the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis, where the hypothalamus is then going to produce and release the gonadotrophin releasing hormone, which will then stimulate the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, which is also referred to as the adenohypophysis, to produce two important hormones, that is the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. Now, the luteinizing hormone is an important hormone. Why? Because it has the capacity to stimulate the Leydig cells in the testes to produce a hormone called testosterone, which is a hormone that then regulates the entire process of spermatogenesis. Now, what happens when that hormone has been produced? So you'll notice that the entire process begins from about the 4th week after fertilization, the 4th week of gestation, where we have a type of cells that we refer to as the PGCs, or the primordial germ cells, where all the other cells then emanate. Now, the PGCs will migrate from around the 4th week, migrate into the testes, where they are going to remain dormant until puberty. And once puberty has then been attained, the PGCs differentiate into what we refer to as a type A spermatogonia. Now, type A spermatogonia then begins to undergo processes of mitosis, where there is a division of the parent cell into two daughter cells to give you a continuous supply of stem cells throughout the reproductive life of a male. Now, this is why a male is often referred to as having no biological clock. Why? Because they have a consistent supply of stem cells through the process of mitosis. Now, some of the type A spermatogonia will then differentiate themselves into type B spermatogonia, and it is the type B spermatogonia that will then now enter meiosis 1 and undergo DNA replication to form the primary spermatocyte. So if we take a look at this particular diagram that we have here, we have right in the testes that a spermatogonia that was dormant in there and waited for puberty, then undergoes DNA replication to form the primary spermatocytes, and the primary spermatocytes now enter the first meiotic division to give you the two daughter cells, and the two daughter cells that have been produced, which are secondary spermatocytes, now will enter into the second meiotic division and give you the four daughter cells, which are the spermatids. Now, when the spermatids have been formed, they are immature in themselves and they need to undergo a post-meiotic morphological changes in order for them to then become what is referred to as a mature spermatozoa. Now, what happens to these spermatids for them to now mature? Let's look at what a mature spermatozoa will look like. So a mature spermatozoa is going to look or appear rather like the diagram that we have in our presentation here, where you have a well-defined head. Now in the head there, that is where you find the DNA material. That is where the DNA material is well located, and you have a nucleus within there that houses that particular DNA material. Now in front of the head, it forms what is referred to as an acrosome. Now an acrosome is just a derivative of the Golgi apparatus of the spermatozoa. Now within the acrosome that it has formed, the acrosome contains what we refer to as proteolytic enzymes. Now these proteolytic enzymes, such as hyaluronidase enzyme and acrosin, are very important for the process of fertilization, because they need now to have the capacity to go and digest the corona radiata and the zona pellucida of the ovum, or the layers that surround the ovum, in order for the nucleus now, which contains the DNA material, to gain its way right into the ovum and cause a fertilization. So you will have an acrosome that is surrounding or right in front of the head, containing the nucleus and its DNA material. Then you have the neck here, which is just a bridge between the head and the mesopiece. Now in the mesopiece, this is where you find the powerhouse, also known and referred to as the mitochondria. Now the mitochondria plays an important role in the formation of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which is the energy that is required for this particular cell or spermatozoa to swim around and gain its access through the vagina into the uterus, right into the fallopian tubes, looking for that particular egg to fertilize. So the spermatozoa or mature spermatozoa will also have a principal piece of tail, and they'll have an end piece of tail. So these are some of the morphological changes that are going to happen to the spermatids that have now been produced. And do not forget that this spermatozoa that has been formed contains a haploid number, and so it has to get into the ovum in order for it to restore the diploid number of chromosomes for then the zygote to continue its process of development. So you have now a mature spermatozoa, and it has an acrosome which has those enzymes and has the capacity to go ahead and fertilize an ovum. So without the maturation of the spermatozoa, pregnancy is not going to be elicited, because there will be no capacity of this particular spermatozoa to go and invade the ovum. Now That is all about the formation of the spermatozoa. Now, if you found this particular video interesting and helpful in understanding the formation of a spermatozoa, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments section as well. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is the Brain Shakers Academy. And as always, it is a pleasure to have you. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.